the trophy at hand for the race win, and how will race 1 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup affect the championship? Leads lap 1, the race for third. Matt Kenseth inside, Ryan Newman outside.
I expected to see some very loose race cars in these conditions today, quite a bit warmer. Plus, we had the nationwide race yesterday and the truck race. I think that the track's probably quite a bit different. And I've been already seeing some cars that's sideways.
Yeah, we heard Rodney Childers say that he expected the cars to be a little freer than they were in practice. I think a lot of teams did anticipate that, so we'll see how it goes.
A couple of housekeeping things as you watch the scoring ticker across the top of the screen. The cars highlighted in gold, the 16 drivers competing in the chase. And on the racetrack, the chase cars, as you see Jeff Gordon there, the yellow banner across the top of the windshield, the yellow front splitter, and the yellow roof decals. All of those denoting the 16 drivers in the chase.
And as we talk about those drivers, obviously that's what it's about, is winning a championship. But what's different in our sport is we have 27 others competing in this event, where in the other sports they would be sitting at home watching this event. How are they going to factor into this? Who could claim a win or get in between those positions, costing someone some spots?
Stenhouse Jr. in that white car using the outside lane to try and pick up a spot on Jamie McMurray. That's 7th.
Yeah, and I saw this one car yesterday. He's on the bottom right now. He worked a lot up on the top of the racetrack with some very impressive speeds. He could be somebody to watch to win this race today.
From challenging McMurray to being challenged by Clint Boyer and now Kevin Harvick.
Well, you see just how bumpy the racetrack is, in the corners especially. I mean, we go to Kentucky and you see how bumpy that racetrack is. It's one of the bumpier mile and a half. This one's more bumps in the corner. It seems like it's one of the toughest racetracks to set up for.
On board Kurt Busch. No, they didn't get to run qualifying here on Friday, but in the practice session they did get on Friday, where some of the teams were in qualifying trim, they were turning laps in excess of 191 miles an hour. Remember, just the one race a year here at Chicagoland Speedway for the Sprint Cup teams. With this year's aerodynamic configuration, the no front ride height, the big spoiler, and the high downforce, they are hauling around this racetrack.
Yeah, drivers that I talked to were telling me this is another one of those racetracks. You know, speed's kind of relative to these drivers. That's what they do every single week. But there's some of these places that really get their attention, and this was one of those tracks that they were telling me that you could really feel the speed.
47 Allmendinger, 5 Kane, left of the screen, right side of the screen. Whoa, look out. Harvick, little wiggle off the corner. Kurt Busch was able to stay off the back bumper.
And when you're trying really hard, like Harvick was there, to make a pass, you're trying to stay in the gas, and you might have to give a little bit of tug on the wheel. That kicks the back end out. Dangerous spot to be in, but he handled it well.
Yeah, I say he recovered real well. He made the pass.
So Harvick up to 9th place, while Kyle Busch has led all of the laps so far. There's the gap. Carl Edwards running second, Matt Kenseth third. Interesting, Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas first and third. One of the themes of a lot of this summer has been the Toyotas down on horsepower. They've done some testing lately, including here at Chicagoland Speedway. The race we saw on a mile-and-a-half track 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, Kenseth and Denny Hamlin were factors contending for the win. Now here they are first and third with Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, I talked to Jason Radcliffe, crew chief for Matt Kenseth this morning. He said they have a little bit different engine spec here, so it's somewhat better, maybe. Don't really know till they see it race, but he said the cars have been getting incrementally better along the way. He said they've had better cars aero-wise, and and chassis-wise over the last 5 to 6 weeks, and you expect some of that to start showing up.
Yeah, I talked to Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch, and they were telling me of a test they had at Charlotte. They felt like that was very beneficial to them, that there were some things they'd been working on and they were able to prove out. Their cars are better, and Toyota's been working extremely hard trying to get the reliability and a little more power for them showing up here this weekend.
Good time for it to show up.
Absolutely. Driver will take horsepower anytime he can get it.
5 of the 10 races in the chase on mile-and-a-half tracks where you're going to need all the steam you can bring. Kyle Busch showing plenty of it so far. Just underway at Chicagoland. He's led all of the 10 laps we've completed so far. About to hit 50 miles into the myafibstory.com 400 Chicagoland Speedway, race 1 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. New leader Jeff Gordon. For how long, we don't know, because Jamie McMurray is right there with him. Both have gone by Kyle Busch, and now McMurray challenging Gordon for the top spot. While that settles in for a second, let's show you how Jeff Gordon got around Kyle Busch for the race lead.
They tried him on the high side for a couple of laps, but Kyle Busch was kind of blocking that. See, Gordon decided to take another way around the track, the shorter way.
Yeah, he blasted that thing down in the corner, didn't he?
Nice to have a car that'll go all places.
The grip level matched his commitment.
Sure did there.
It's been kind of fascinating to watch McMurray work in this high line that he's been working, because it's almost like you're looking at a dirt track. The guy that gets it hooked up in the center of the corner and can just ride the throttle all the way off the turn. Look how high he is and how much speed he carries off the corner onto the straightaway.
Yeah, it's fun to watch whenever a driver gets his car like this and somebody like Jamie doing this. I saw him yesterday in the final practice session. It just caught my eyes. We were up here preparing for the nationwide race, and I saw him get up there, and he was the one that got up there for the longest period of time. And I saw him pick up about 0.3 of a second per lap once he got this and kind of got his car dialed in and himself dialed in as to where he needed to back off and pick up the throttle and what he could do. And it told me right then that he could be a factor in this race today.
Got some lap traffic in the way there that's going to keep him from making a run at Gordon immediately, although Gordon having to deal with the same lap traffic and altering the line he's been taking also. When you're going into that third turn like we saw McMurray do last lap, and you're going to go in and keep that car right out by the wall, I have to imagine that's kind of intimidating. I mean, you race drivers are used to it, but for me, it'd be kind of intimidating. It'd be like kind of going down the highway between a tractor trailer and up against one of the barriers, the concrete barriers that's right out against the travel lane. You know, in some of the zones where they have the construction. I know you don't want to be passing people and all that, but you know what I'm saying. That trapped in area where there's just no room to go anyplace.
Yeah, but for a driver, that's a
Like that.
adrenaline rush right there. That's a rush that you can get in there. But the key to it is what Jamie is doing is not overdriving, getting into the corner. His speed is made from backing out of the gas and then picking the throttle up earlier. He's literally making the straightaway longer because that's where you try to be wide open in the gas more. So he's making this a longer racetrack.
Yeah, he's not having to get out of the gas real early getting into turn 1, but I notice it's almost dramatic getting into turn 3. Right now, you'll see him go down the back straightaway. He'll back off a lot earlier than, see Jeff Gordon right there, way early. But then he gets back to that gas and that thing just takes off. And then he uses that whole front straightaway and you see him gain all that back. And then some.
The thing I like about Jeff Gordon's car, though, is he's able to stay out front here. Gordon's able to maneuver in traffic a little better. His car will run the middle and the bottom, maybe just a little bit better than Jamie's.
I'll tell you, that one car looks pretty strong.
Here he comes.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to the bottom, though.
Now, that was an opportunity right there in looking ahead that he could have made that run down to the inside. With some traffic ahead, he could have possibly done that. He opted not to, staying with what he knows good. It's still early.
Yeah, watch this.
Yeah, why go to the bottom when you can do this? So now he's got that line.
Put Marcos Ambrose a lap down. Ambrose confirming here this weekend he is going to return to his native Australia to race next year. Here's McMurray for the race lead, and he's got Gordon off of 2. So, third different leader of the race is Jamie McMurray, now with Jeff Gordon second, and Kyle Busch back in third position. Dave?
Now, the race started out really well for these guys. Dave Rogers calling this track for them hit and miss. Well, it was a hit to start with. Kyle called in, said, I'm not really running that hard, but then the handling went away just a bit. He calls the car a little loose in, a little tight off the corner, so they'll make adjustments, but they really didn't sound like they were having that much trouble until everyone started eating them up.
I think one thing you have to be careful with this racetrack is you feel like that you're not overusing the tires when you're out front there, and Kyle Busch was setting a pretty good pace, but you stay down the bottom too long. That's going to take a little bit more to make your car go fast down there and use up your tires a little more.
One of the 16 chasers is on pit road early. Dave?
He fell from 17th starting position back to 22nd, calling the car a 12 loose on a 10 scale. So it was really out there for AJ Allmendinger. They're going to make a track bar adjustment 2 rounds down, a 4-tire change, and full of Sunoco fuel. But he had to get that car down pit road early to get it underneath him.
It's not that much early because here begin to come some others onto the pit lane now, including Kevin Harvick. Harvick had moved all the way up to 5th place from where he started back in 12th, and now he's coming onto the pit lane. Denny Hamlin going to follow Harvick down the pit road. Jamie?
Remember, Kevin Harvick, different pit crew this weekend. It's Tony Stewart's crew going over the wall, championship winning team here with the shot. They work on the left-hand side of the car. Kevin saying he's just a little loose to start the run, as he was yesterday in the Nationwide Series race, but the car is fast. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin is in, working with his crew chief, Darian Grubb, back at the racetrack, saying the car is pretty good, just a little tight in the center. Good stop. Let's go to Doc.
Ryan Newman started on the outside of the front row and said from the get-go the car was loose in and loose off. Going to make a wedge change and a left front air pressure change. 4 tires and get it full of Sunoco fuel. Ryan said the car will not take off in the first 4 or 5 laps and then gets very good after about 6 laps in longer runs. There's the chassis change and left side tires going on. Alan?
Bob Moore coming in. Greg Biffle's in. Joey Logano, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth on and off the pit road. Here's Logano in, Doc.
Joey Logano said that he's losing the nose. He said the car is tight center, losing the nose more and more in turn 1 and loose off. So that's where I'm losing speed. Major chassis adjustment for Logano.
Greg Biffle is in, had fallen back to 25th position, down on the track bar, wedge in the left rear, no rear grip, and from the center off of the corner was a complaint from Greg. As for Kyle Busch, we talked about the corner handling not where he wanted it. He'll get just a small change and Sunoco fuel in the car.
Kurt Busch spun at the top of the pits, trying to get Wout up to the entrance to pit road. There's the first mistake Rusty was talking about. Jamie?
And both the 24 and the 1 saying a little bit tight in the center, so they wanted to free it up a bit. They work on the left side of the 24. They make a wedge adjustment right there, 4 tires, and fill them up with Sunoco fuel.
Well, the 41 of Kurt Busch is too loose. He says doesn't want to get it too tight. So you got to be careful on the adjustment. Needs more grip. Some wedge in the right rear. Air pressure, 4 tires for the 41.
Eric Almirola headed out. Brad Keselowski, yet to pit, has taken over the race lead. There's the 2. Remember, Brad started way back in 25th place. Now, when he does come in, he's going to have to watch the cone, that commitment cone that NASCAR puts out to mark the spot of commitment on or off pit road. Well, when Kurt Busch spun, he hit that. He's knocked it out into the right edge of the traffic lane. There it is. Here comes Keselowski to it. See and avoid.
There you go. Come on in. All the way down here.
And Kurt Busch will get penalized for a commitment line violation for this. 3rd car in line. And here's Keselowski's stop, Dave.
He passed 12 cars on that first run, Alan. A really good sign for these guys. They will, quote, stick to the plan. Just a piece of tape on the front grille of the cars. They fill up full of Sunoco fuel and change 4 Goodyear Racing Eagles. They said, Brad said the balance was really pretty good, and even in all that traffic.
So there goes Brad Keselowski, and the cycle of stops is completed. And it comes back to where it started, though with a much wider gap. Jamie McMurray, the race leader, gaining a little bit of ground on Jeff Gordon over the cycle of pit stops. Double checking the time here. It was a 2nd and a 3rd pre-pit stops. It's about a 2nd and 6/10 post-pit stops. So I'll call it fairly neutral there in a toss-up on the route of pit stops. Except for Kurt Busch, who just did his pass-through penalty, was running 9th before the cycle of pit stops began. Then this went on off turn 4, and now he finds himself running back in 33rd place and a lap down.
Road.
I talked to Steve Letarte. He says that's a calculated risk. They don't really do a blind calculation on that. They know that when they make this pit stop, how it's going to work out. So they've got a lot better handle on that now. So that's why you're seeing some of them pit early.
Caution, debris, turn 2.
Debris, turn 2.
Been talking about it for a minute or so, and have put the yellow flag out for the first time in the race. Comes out just a lap shy of 100 miles. And about 20 laps after the leaders pitted under the green flag.
Yeah, 20 laps. That's kind of right in that range of where there's a little bit of opportunity for strategy, especially when we have 21 cars now on the lead lap.
Right up the outside, Jamie McMurray in that red #1, while Kyle Busch holds on to the lead.
Well, McMurray came to race today, didn't he?
Sure did. Ryan Newman had a really tough time getting going on that. Lost a lot of spots.
And look who's second. Kyle Larson in the 42, who started last in a backup car. Challenged there by Matt Kenseth in the 20.
Yeah, the top 3 just changed 2 tires that stop. Murray, the first car with 4 tires.
As that sorts out, actually a couple of more to add on to your list there, Andy. So you had Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, and Austin Dillon changing just rights. McMurray first off the pit lane with 4 tires, restarted 6th, ran around that outside lane, and got himself up now to race for 4th place. Joey Logano is still trapped well back in traffic. Look at that.
Yeah, I just went.
Into the wall.
Oh, that's not good. That's the last thing he needed to do right now with the car that he had.
You see, these cars are pretty durable. See just how much that might have damaged. I don't think the body's going to
look at my right side.
significant if we don't start seeing some tire rub there.
It looks okay. Nothing rubbing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good lick though, man. That thing hit hard. Didn't seem to slow him down a whole lot.
Watch out.
Looked like he had a big run off the corner, but he lost the air to the nose from his teammate.
Yeah, I saw that. I got the wall.
4th to 7th in that scuff for Jamie McMurray, and we'll see what the adjustment on the car does here as we run out these next several laps. Fighting with Dale Earnhardt Jr. now to try and get 6th place back.
Yeah, I talked to Rodney Childers this morning about, we see a lot of cars hit the wall, and sometimes they're better than they were before they hit the wall.
Kyle Larson, Matt Kenseth still racing for 2nd place.
And he said that what happens usually is it kind of hurts the body, but sometimes it'll knock the rear end housing over enough to give you a little bit more skew, and so it can help the car.
So now they're going to train drivers to check how hard maybe to hit the wall and help things?
He didn't recommend that. I asked him.
Okay. I hope not.
Boy, I was waiting for some line there. You said train drivers. I was waiting for him to come back with something.
Yeah. That's a double-edged sword there, isn't it?
Brad Keselowski up to 3rd in the deuce. And now Jeff Gordon trying to regain some ground lost to the strategy play.
See McMurray taking the spot back away from Dale Earnhardt Jr. that he lost when he scraped the wall a few minutes ago.
Do we need to define some terms? What's a touch? What's a scrape? What's a hit?
What's a bump? What's a real wreck?
Yeah, some of them are self-explanatory, but
yeah. We'll work on that for you. More developments on that later. For now, little past the quarter distance, and Kyle Busch back out in front at Chicagoland. There is the race for the lead at Chicagoland Speedway. And don't forget, Jeff Gordon here looking at Kyle Busch for the race lead. Later in the race, you'll be able to see this during our NASCAR Nonstop coverage presented by Sprint. That comes up in the second half of today's race. Wouldn't have missed a thing.
no.
Jeff Gordon on 4 tires from the pit stop, 4 fresh tires, while the other 3 cars in the frame just changed the right side tires on the pit stop. Kyle Busch so far holding off Gordon for the lead. Brad Keselowski up as high as 2nd in a skirmish a minute ago, slipped back to 4th, and these 4 continue to go at it in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's up to 5th.
18 last time. You could see Gordon there kind of with a little bit of a payback, but last time he got down kind of on Jeff's quarter panel to slow him down, which is perfectly okay. But that time you could see Jeff Gordon get over to the left rear, and he kind of got a little bit loose. Gordon able to take the lead again.
It's perfectly okay as long as you don't mind it being done to you. Just racing tactics, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Patience right here.
Those 4 tires took Gordon from 8th to 1st in 16 laps. So just trying to evaluate how much the tires are worth, and they're worth more to some people than others. But you're looking at, I think the 2 tires are holding on speed pretty well. But you got 4 tires on a good car like Gordon, it's starting to show up.
Now, on the other side of that coin, Ryan Newman restarted 2nd with just right side tires on the pit stop. Now there he is back in 11th place.
And it may be something that a driver and team like Newman here will have to say, okay, if we're going to do 2 tires, they may be okay, but we're going to have to make this adjustment if we do that.
How about Kyle Larson?
Yeah, pretty impressive. I mean, he started dead last, passed a lot of cars, and his pit crew made a good decision to take 2 tires. That was the right decision for this team to try to gain some of that back. He's able to hold on to it.
Nice drive so far for the youngster from California, Vince.
Well, been a little bit tight on landing, but that's the only complaint from the young rookie who's the front runner for Rookie of the Year here in the Sprint Cup Series. I talked to him before the race. I said, what do you think? Because this is his first Cup race at Chicagoland. He said, I'm not quite sure what to expect. And then he looked at me and said, but I'll figure it out. He was so nonchalant about it. This kid is so cool.
Caution out for the 2nd time at Chicagoland Speedway. Ryan Newman in some trouble. Flat left rear tire. He's left some debris on the racetrack. We'll catch up with that story in a minute. First, here come the leaders charging onto pit road. Stops at the 150-mile mark of this race. Jamie?
After Gordon took the lead again, he said, thanks guys, you got it, thank you. So the call here, no changes, 4 tires. They'll fill the 24 up with Sunoco fuel. He has the car right where he wants it. Doc?
Car getting better and better every time for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Talking about tire change. We're going to tighten up a smidgen, but decided not to, so the car turning okay. Dave.
Second and third place, right of your screen. Both took right side tires last time. Both need 4 this time. As for Brad's car, leave it alone. Just put 4 on. As for Kyle's car, a bit too free. They'll make an adjustment for that.
Going to have a couple of more strategy players. Jamie McMurray, Joey Logano will get up to first and second. Now, Ryan Newman, remember, just changed the right side tires on the pit stops at lap 69. Then
starting to see something that we'll have to keep an eye on for later restarts, and I don't know yet if it's a product of the 2 tires and spinning the tires there, but the outside line having a very difficult time getting going.
little 3 wide here. Vickers 55, Hamlin 11, Johnson 48. Joey Logano started back in 28th place. Restarted second. You see he's regrouped after the slip. Running in 6th place, Brad Keselowski now up to the number 2 spot. And working on race leader Jamie McMurray. So the 2 passes the 1 for position 1. And now Jeff Gordon by McMurray to grab 2nd place. Had him lined up to get in the turnstiles before the start today. And certainly enjoying a beautiful afternoon out here at the racetrack, watching Brad Keselowski right now. Big hometown race for Brad and his sponsor, headquartered in Chicago. And Keselowski out in front by 2.7 seconds on Jeff Gordon. Let's go up to speed, check in on some of these front runners. Dave, you're first.
Alan, he hasn't been very far off that bottom groove today. Every once in a while to pass like he's doing to Justin Allgaier right now. But Paul Wolfe told me when they went to the high side in practice, they didn't get a lot of benefit. Plus, they felt like a lot of the front runners would use the high side later in the run. So Brad, bottom feeder today, and so far, very, very good. Jamie?
And behind him, Jeff Gordon, he's been pretty good today, led 26 laps. Now on the last stop, they opted not to make any changes. Now just moments ago, Jeff asked on the radio, guys, we've lost something. I'm not sure what it is, if it's me, if it's the car, or the competition, if they've gotten better. So they need to make an adjustment on the next stop. Now behind them is a man on a mission. Kevin Harvick restarted 12th. Remember, he had that pit stop earlier. They had a loose wheel, had to pit again, lost a lot of track position. He's made that up, and the car is good. He's been quiet until about 3 minutes ago on the radio. He said he's a little bit loose as he's looking to pass the 24. Let's go to Doc.
Yeah, behind him, Dale Earnhardt Jr. You heard the story yesterday at Happy Hour. He was basically a 20th place car. Crew chief Steve Letarte stayed up all night working to change the setup and made wholesale changes. Just prior to climbing in the car, Dale Jr. asked Letarte, hey, tell me what you did. After going through a list of about 8 or 10 items, Jr. said, stop. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't ever tell me you made that many changes again. I don't need to know. Right now, the car's a little bit edgy. Dave.
Doc, some radio transmissions require a little...
Just a car that was leading by almost 3 seconds whenever you pitted.
The shuffle here for 5th place. Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Larson. And the first of the chase cars in this round to make his way to pit road is here. Joey Logano, remember, he restarted second after taking just rights earlier, and now he's all the way down the pit lane towards the turn 1 end, Doc.
Yeah, he said lost the rear grip on the 22 car, said will not turn in the corner. And after starting back in 28th and driving this car to the top 10, already had a pretty impressive comeback for this Penske team. They will go ahead and put 4 tires on it, make a significant chassis adjustment in the right rear. Also, air pressure change. Got to get it full of Sunoco fuel. Let's go to Dave.
A.J. Allmendinger struggling this run, running in 25th. Did you see Kyle Busch on the right, still getting that challenge from Larson in the 25th position? And with the shifter that may have come off the car, he's having trouble getting through the gears, so getting started is tough. They got the car tight, now it's loose again. Struggling day for A.J. Vince?
There's the 27 of Paul Menard, chassis wrench in the right side, trying to help Menard with his handling. It's a 4-tire change for the 27. They feel like they've been getting better over the last several weeks. They're looking to capitalize today, Doc.
Dale Jr. saying the car's been really good, but in the last 5 or 6 laps, it's gotten a little bit edgy in the corner. It was turning better in the middle, and they will make an air pressure change and a chassis adjustment left rear, putting 4 tires on Junior's car. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin brings it in. No mention of the engine issues that he was experiencing earlier. The power seems to be just fine as they put 4 tires on, and they make a chassis adjustment to help the handling there.
Michael Annett just made the left turn into the garage as this round of green flag pit stops continues, and Brad Keselowski stays out for another lap. Jamie?
And Jamie McMurray, remember, he was saying up high it's too loose, down low it's too tight. They wanted to adjust him for the middle as he was searching around to find a better line. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick, again, we have an issue. The 20 of Matt Kenseth spins entering pit road. As the cars continue to file down pit road, he makes his way into his pit box.
Another issue on the pit lane. Justin Allgaier is stalled right in the middle of the pit road as cars dodge him on the left and right sides, coming and going from their stops. Now he finally gets it fired up, but that was a close one as Aric Almirola came onto the pits to get to his stall just past where Allgaier was sitting. Dave?
Kyle Busch overshoots his pit. They have a wedge adjustment plan for a tight race car, but a little time cost already for Kyle. You can see he's back inside the box now. A 4-tire change and full of Sunoco fuel. He ran 5th this session. We'll see where he files back into the queue after missing his pit box coming in. The 2-car of Brad Keselowski this run. He said, I hate to free it up because my exit is so good, but I need a little more front turn. They'll try to do it with air pressure and a 4-tire change for the leader, Keselowski. Vince?
The 41 of Kurt Busch, they were a lap down early because Kurt spun entering pit road. The car's gotten much better, still working on turns 3 and 4. 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment for that 41 of Kurt Busch. Now the 48 of Jimmy Johnson is coming in. At the beginning of the day, they were too loose. Now they are too tight. So they're going to go back 30 to 40% on the previous adjustment to try to free Jimmy up a little bit. A 4-tire change for the 48, filling it up with Sunoco fuel, clean and away for Jimmy Johnson.
Well, the frantic shuffle of pit stops is complete, and Brad Keselowski reassumes the race lead. Kevin Harvick hangs on to the 2nd spot. There you see the gap from 1st to 2nd. That lead changes hands. You won't miss it. Well, maybe hang on. Might change hands right here. So new leader, Kevin Harvick, completes his recovery from the problem on pit road earlier. Into the second half of the race. That means we go NASCAR nonstop. Today, presented by Sprint. We'll explain the cause of the caution in a minute. First, the leaders are on pit road here with 85 laps to go, Vince.
Kyle Larson has been one of the surprises of the day. He's not a chaser, but he's certainly running like one up into the top 5. It's going to be a 4-tire change, no chassis adjustment, a little snug. Jamie?
Jeff Gordon thinks he had a bad set of tires that time. They're doing everything right. The car is good. 4 tires and track bar. The 4 of Kevin Harvick. 4 tires and the car's better. Dave?
The 2 group is going to go back on the air pressure adjustment they just made. They'll take 4 tires. The car got too loose off the corners for Brad.
There's your race off pit road. Everybody pretty well holding serve in the top 10.
Right along with Brad here, you mentioned Alan, he's in 16th. He had to restart behind all the lap down cars and everything too, so he's much worse off than that as far as track position goes to the leader.
And as we talked about in this opening round of the chase, the challenger round, eliminating risk or not taking unnecessary risks. You're back there in the traffic. The risks aren't all yours to decide.
Yeah, that's not a risk that you want to take. That was a mistake that puts you at risk, and that's something that you're going to have to minimize. And that's what everybody's worried about, is racing your way out in this first round. That's what you got to be careful of.
Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch trying to overcome spins coming to pit road earlier. Back there in traffic. And what a rally for the Richard Petty 43. Eric Almirola now up into 5th place, racing Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson on either side of him.
Yeah, a lot of brackets had this car dropping out after the first round. I think they're on a mission to prove everybody wrong on that one.
Yeah, I spoke with Eric the other day. He was very excited, very optimistic because of the last couple of weeks. Felt like they had found some things and had gotten their program the best that it's ever been. And he felt like that they could make it through at least this first round, if not further.
One of the many teams that came here and tested at Chicagoland for this chase opener was the Richard Petty Motorsports team. Remember, in 2014 NASCAR rules, you use tests by organization. So every car in the organization can come test when the organization chooses, but you can't split them up and go different places.
And he's one of those drivers, Eric Almirola, that's utilized this high line quite a bit today. And he seems to be able to make it work better than some of the others that did it early on. His is kind of stayed with him, and he's moved forward throughout the day, trying to take this 4th spot away from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And protecting the rear flank from Jimmy Johnson there, running right behind him.
So restarted 13th, 8 spots in a short amount of time. That's getting it done. Rusty talks about how you got to go on these restarts. That's a perfect example of going forward.
So from almost a lap down, saved by a caution earlier, now to being in the top 5, Jamie. Nice run for Almirola.
It's been a really good day for him, and he says his car is really good on the long run. The longer they can run, the better his car is. And I talked to Trent Owens this morning. He said they're so thrilled to be here as Jimmy Johnson ducks to the inside. And he said, you know, our goal is just to make it to the second round. It's hard to beat these guys like the 48, but they didn't expect to be running up here, up front with this team. That's how serious they are. And oh, by the way, you mentioned it, Alan. Eric ran on the Nationwide Series race yesterday and said he gained a lot of knowledge that really helped to apply to this car in this race today.
Gave up the spot to Jimmy Johnson there, but running in 6th, the car you saw these leaders pass that was slow on the apron was Ryan Truex, who has coasted back around to the pit lane and turned his car into the garage. We stay under green. But Jeff Gordon didn't fall back from 2nd place, stayed in 2nd, but couldn't stay right with Kevin Harvick on that restart.
Haven't seen anybody right now that can stay with that 4 car. He's got it going the way that he wants to.
A lot of racing yet to go, though. Harvick out in front at Chicagoland as we go NASCAR Nonstop, presented by Sprint.
Mistakes. That has been the word of the day so far from Chicagoland Speedway for some of our chasers. Starting with Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Kurt just entered pit road, had too much rear brake adjusted in the car, spun the car out, didn't hit anything, but a big mistake.
Not a perfect stop for Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, see the rear challenge come around, step on the hose, slip fall, knocks the gas can out of the gas man's head. He spills a lot of gas. Very slow stop.
Matt Kenseth pulling a page from Kurt.
Yeah, just about the same thing. Comes down, spins on entry. I don't know what's going on there, but these guys get in hot, have mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 car has to come back down pit road. Comes down twice, loses a lot of track position. Even though he's got a fast race car, is making it back up. It's still a mistake.
Yeah, loose lug nuts in that car.
Speaking of coming down pit road twice, that's what happened to Kevin Harvick very early in the race. Had to make 2 pit stops, but making the most of their day, Harvick has bounced back.
Yeah, he really has, Nicole. He's done a good job. His car is the fastest out there, but that last shot we just saw, he came down with loose left side lug nuts. A big problem today with these teams.
But who's led the most laps today? Kevin Harvick. Who leads right now?
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Stout.
But a lot of issues today. So let's take a quick tally of who we've had issues with so far. Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, we've had Kurt Busch having problems, Kevin Harvick having problems, Casey Kane speeding, Logano, Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Brad K. My gosh, I've got 8 chasers that have had problems and making big mistakes today.
Let's go back to Alan.
And through all of that, a pretty good race for the lead starting to shape up, Nicole, between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson, who started last, has gotten up to second, and is reeling in the leader.
Seems like this run, the 42 car, is just a little better than the 4 of Harvick. But he's got they're both occupying that same line. And I've watched Kyle Larson trying some different things the last, 5 or 6 laps, knowing he's going to have to find another way to pass Kevin Harvick other than that high line.
Yeah, and most of it's been down here in 3 and 4, where they are right now. He dives down, get the air on the nose, see what kind of run he can get, hoping that he can get there just enough to maybe put some kind of slide job on Harvick. He's making it tough for him, though.
31 car in the picture there, Ryan Newman had to make an extra pit stop. While everybody else stopped at lap 182, Newman was just in at lap 206 under green. So he is 3 laps down, trying to get one of those laps back here and on fresher tires than those race leaders. A.J. Allmendinger in.
Yeah, probably going to start seeing this come to pit road. Some drivers and teams try to pit a little bit early, get a little bit of an advantage for the time that these new tires can make up. They'll pay the price at the end possibly, but could help them at the beginning if things should work out right for them.
38 laps from last pit stops for the race leaders. We've seen them all pit shortly after 40 laps today, about 45 or so the range we've been seeing.
And this could be an opportunity for the 42 to take advantage of the 4, but with that 31 in there being kind of, well, now Newman's kind of backed off there a little. Might have just been a situation that he didn't get the good run off of turn 2. I was thinking if he got up there messing with Harvick that the 42 might could go wherever they weren't. I know that Kyle Larson will take that first win anywhere, anytime, but that would be a real heartbreaker to know that you did it the next race right after the cutoff.
Oh, yeah.
He had a good enough season to get into the chase in the top 16 and had a problem at Michigan with the crash and then playing catch up and having to basically win to get in. They just couldn't quite do it.
He's trying to find a way around Harvick for the lead, Vince.
And, just what you guys were talking about in regards to getting that first win, and they were very disappointed they did not make the chase. But I saw Kyle before the race today, and he said, well, we're here to be a spoiler. If we can win some races in the chase and maybe spoil it, get attention that way, that's the best we can do right now. That's what we'll go for, and making a good run at it right now. Earlier, he said, I can't wait until that high line rubbers in a little bit more. So they've been definitely keeping an eye on riding the rim today. Whether or not it comes to him the way he hopes remains to be seen, but certainly something they've been waiting for and hoping for.
Now you watch Newman, you think, well, why is he in there mixing up the leaders? He really needs to try to pass Kevin Harvick to get one of these laps back, because he's not going to get a free pass or some kind of a wave around to get on the lead lap. He's going to have to race his way by these guys to try to get at least one of these back.
No, the opportunity would be there. If he could get by Harvick, then they could take a chance and stay out for a wave around, which would get them back to just 1 lap down and get them in another position. And if they got lucky with a caution right after that, it could work out for them some way. So you got to still race. Can't give up now.
Newman in 25th place, and again, 3 laps down, trying to get one of those back from the leader here. Newman started second, ran as high as second in this one earlier, but had a left rear tire go down. They had changed just right side tires on a prior pit stop. The pit stop at lap 69, then at lap 99, the left rear went down on Newman's car, and it did some damage to the machine, and they've been trying to recover ever since.
And I'd have to think, if I were the 42, even though they're really fast here, this situation right here, this happening, we've got that car, I would go on and get on the pit road. A couple of laps maybe is all that I need on those fresher tires to where by the time Harvick hits, I may cycle out in front of him.
Yeah, the one thing that Chris Heroy, the crew chief of the 42, is looking at is lap count. Right now there's 42 laps to go. You don't want to be out there and run too many laps on that last run either. So it's a balance thing. You do want to try to get in early, but you don't want to have too many laps at the end of the race.
The window's open, Vince.
Hasn't been the kind of day Matt Kenseth was hoping for. He's pitting from the 14th position. 4-tire change, going to make a chassis adjustment again. They just quite haven't had the handle on the car that they wanted today.
And again, Matt trying to recover from the spin coming onto pit road back at lap 148. Here's Denny Hamlin in. We're at the point now where these cars can make the scheduled distance on fuel from here. Jamie?
And remember, Denny Hamlin reporting that he's running hot. They'll probably take some tape off of the front of that car. Said he's overall just too tight, 4 tires, and they'll fill him up with Sunoco fuel.
And while you see Hamlin stop left side of the screen, right side of the screen, he got him.
Like I said, or you can just pass him on the track.
Yeah, he's good the old-fashioned way.
So Kyle Larson leading this race for the first time today. Casey Kane's in, Doc.
Yeah, they repaired that damage on the right front fender, made a chassis adjustment. The car was really tight, much better now after the damage you got on pit road leaving a little bit ago.
Greg Biffle, who's had a tough day, in. Dale Jr. also on the pit lane. Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon all coming in, Dave.
Not a great day for Greg Biffle right now. They'll give him 4 tires and an adjustment. It's really not bad this run compared to the others. They're not going to make large adjustments for Greg at this point.
Dale Jr. saying the car, the air pressure builds up, gets a little bit free. Now they put wedge in once before and the car got too tight. They came back and took wedge out. Minor air pressure, and that's all. Vince.
The 42 of Kyle Larson really likes his car. They did not make any changes on the previous stop. No changes on this stop either. Just 4 tires and Sunoco fuel for the 42. Jamie?
Kevin Harvick has led the most laps today. Happy with the car. Didn't say a thing on the radio. 4 tires is the call for the 4. Getting it done. 12.7.
Joey Logano coming in. Jamie McMurray also on and off the pit road. Jimmy Johnson. And now here comes Brad Keselowski onto the pit lane. Long stop, yeah.
Joey Logano saying he needs help, rear grip on exit. They came in and made an air pressure adjustment for Logano. What a comeback. There's the adjustment again from 28 starting spot to a possible top 10 finish. Dave.
After re-pitting and re-entering the race in 16th, Brad Keselowski passed 9 cars. There were only 7 remaining ahead of him. With a final adjustment here, can he get to the front again in this 2 car? It's been strong all day. He's lost some front turn, was a little free off turn 2. They'll make adjustments for him in 4 tires. Jamie?
Eric Almirola restarted last time on the outside for the first time. Heck of a job. We have caution on the track as the 43 makes his way down. Too tight in the middle, and there it is for the 99. Let's go back to Allen.
Looks like that left rear tire is down on the 99 car.
Yep.
And probably dropped some debris out on the racetrack with that. So caution out here right as that cycle of green flag pit stops was about wrapping up. Quick change of the left side tires for Carl Edwards. Oh yeah.
Very similar to Ryan Newman's problem he had earlier.
He had his hands full there. That's a great job to keep that car going straight.
Eric Almirola going behind the wall, Jamie.
Just as I was calling that pit stop, he reported in on exit. Guys, we're blowing up. We're blowing up, and we need to go behind the wall. Tough break for the 43. Had a top 10 run going, Alan.
Whoa! The Busch brothers with some contact. Now they're scattering out 3 and 4 wide as Kurt has to try and regroup and regain momentum. Hamlin and Kenseth split Johnson.
That could have been big for a lot of people.
Wow. Watch this.
Yeah, and Kurt, the big loser here. He lost 6 spots from that contact.
But he's still got a race car.
See, Kyle kind of slid up. He thought he was going to
Pretty
get
wide on the
enough
bottom
room
here,
there.
on the bumper. Hang on to it. Keep coming. Got a run, a bunch of them coming here. Inside, clear right there. Got the 10 with a run coming inside. 50.
You know you've lost your momentum on a track like this when you're having to grab a gear to get going again.
Yeah. And Kurt Busch had done such a great job of rebounding from that spin and penalty that he had earlier in the race to get himself up near the top 10, which would have been a tremendous day coming back from all of that. That really cost him.
Jimmy Johnson able to get a spot back on Matt Kenseth, one that you saw him give up a minute ago. Now back after Denny Hamlin for 7th place. Tell you what, Kyle Larson got going on that restart.
He didn't mess around. He knew what he was doing. He's been in this position in a cup race to where he was the leader this late in it on a restart and in that situation, but obviously studied it and knew what he needed to do. Where we'd seen him run high as a run went on, he knew that he had to block that bottom lane from Harvick or Jeff Gordon getting that position.
Well, the big wreck narrowly averted on the restart, and now down to 25 laps to go. Can Kyle Larson upset the big boys and get his first Sprint Cup Series win? Had troubles in turn 1. All the makings of a right front there. NASCAR Nonstop today presented by Sprint. Kevin Harvick looking for his 3rd win of the season and an early shot across the bow in this championship.
Harvick was ready that time.
That would have been Larson by a skosh.
Oh, that's great, but by running side by side, here comes the 2 car.
Clear, shut the door.
Wash it out. Here comes Harvick to Larson's inside. And here comes Keselowski to make it a 3-way race for the lead. Going to try and split the middle.
That's the only spot open.
3 wide middle. 3.
Wow, what a pass.
I tell you, that's some risky racing for some guys that have a lot to lose. Kevin Harvick and Keselowski are still going for it.
Lock the game. Win and you're in.
Brad Keselowski to the lead, up the center. Now Harvick trying to find a way to regroup, and Jeff Gordon trying to join the fun.
Larson with a big run. Harvick kind of slid up there.
Here comes Jeff Gordon with a big run to the outside.
Larson got really sideways right there.
But remember, this is for second place. Kozlowski's gone.
Well, he's gone, but you want to get yourself in that second spot in case the caution should happen to come out. Just behind these guys is Denny Hamlin, who we complained about his engine a couple of different times. They're in 5th spot.
Well, that was spectacular.
Oh, unbelievable.
Kyle Larson back to second for the moment. Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon still there fighting for it. But Brad Kozlowski has checked out after the restart with 18 laps to go. When they got racing side by side for the lead, Kozlowski joined the fun and then split it 3 wide up the middle to get the #1 spot. Absolutely the moment of the race. Brought to you by Dairy Queen, Brad Kozlowski.
You know, sometimes as a driver, things just present themselves to you. You're sitting there wondering which way you're going to go. There was nowhere else to go. Why not go to the middle? What a pass.
Wow. Fantastic. So Kozlowski, after getting behind earlier at lap 184 with an extra pit stop that dropped him all the way back to 16th place.
I want you to watch Larson now. He is hanging it out.
Whoop, trouble front stretch.
Caution,
Danica Patrick into the wall. And there's your I want to be second in case the caution comes out.
Yep.
What happened now?
Number 17 hit me.
Well, Danica on the lead lap in 18th place. Racing the 17 of Stenhouse.
Yeah, it might be pretty quiet at dinner tonight.
Come on down, let's try to get the fenders away from it.
And so the caution flag waving in this one inside the final 10 laps.
Get the bear bond ready, guys.
You see Danica's middle 3 wide on the outside of Stewart. And got into Sten. I don't know if she moved up into...
Yeah, it's hard to tell from that angle if she just thought that she was clear there or...
6 laps to go. McMurray all the way to the bottom. Gordon looking high. 4 wide to turn 1.
Yeah,
Larson smoking.
I think that's from the contact when they were warming their tires up under caution. They actually ran together.
Yeah.
Kozlowski gets clear. The smoke goes away on the Larson car. So now he's racing Jeff Gordon for second.
Crossing over.
Yeah, that was quite a move. Jeff Gordon thought that he had that spot done easily. Oh, Larson's sideways right there. There's just no give up and a lot of talent sitting in that 42.
Want to know whose car ate up that windshield tear off or piece of trash or whatever that was we saw blowing up turn 2 there a minute ago. Not on either of these front runners. Still racing for second spot. Kozlowski's running away. And then this. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth with fresher tires trying to make some ground as fast as they can.
Oh, that's close.
I'll tell you, Kyle Larson is just not going to give up, is he? And look at Gordon with the crossover.
Oh, into the wall there, though. That might cost him that second spot.
Take his line away. Come on up.
So Jeff Gordon gets second. Larson slips back to third. Brad Keselowski's coming to see the white flag.
About this rebound for this crew team after having to come back for a loose lug nut.
And we're in the final lap. A lot of folks talked about Hendrick versus Penske for this championship, the speed and the number of wins that those two teams have amassed this season. Here's the driver and team that won the most races in the 26 to get into the chase, coming to win the opener of the championship. Just as he did in the year he won the title, Brad Keselowski wins at Chicagoland.
His teammate blowing up at the checkered flag, but he's going to finish fourth.
That's where the piece that I saw of trash wound up lodged. We just didn't have a chance to go back and look at it with all the great racing.
Good job there, bud. Great job. We love you guys.
I don't think he's willing to stop till he makes sure that was the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's right. How about focused?
Now his fifth win of the season.
Awesome effort, guys. Thank you.
And again, 3 wide up the middle to take the lead.
Yeah, he certainly earned that, no doubt.
Brad Keselowski, our Goodyear Superior performer today here at Chicagoland. His star-spangled celebration after winning for the second time in 3 years the opening race of the chase. Have that other flag to go with it too. You earned it.
He did, boy. I'll tell you what a move he made for the lead. 3 wide up the middle.
Keselowski didn't have to win today, but he did, starting from the rear on 2 occasions, as far as I could tell. How in the world did you do that?
Not really sure. I'm going to have to watch the ESPN replay to figure it out, but obviously we had a great car. Miller Lite Ford Fusion was fast, and these Fords have really come together here for a strong chase run. And this is Ford's first win here at Chicago, so I'm happy for that, but man, that was a crazy day. I'm not really sure I know everything that happened. I'm serious. I'm going to have to rewatch it, Dave. But obviously it finished up well for us. And we caught a little bit of break when that yellow came out in the middle of the pit cycle. Got us, I think, from 8th to 4th. So we jumped a few cars. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad to be here.
Lap 249 restart, you're 4th, and then the seas parted. What did you think?
I saw Kyle and Kevin racing each other really hard, and they were aggressively side drafting, and just waiting for an opportunity to strike, and it came, and the car stuck, and just everything came together.
Spotter Joey Meyer said you made a liar out of him today. How so?
Well, when you start in the back, a lot of people don't think you have that great of a car, and I knew we were pretty good. And I don't like starting in the back, don't get me wrong, but I'd much rather be good in race trim, and we had a great car. Paul Wolf, the whole 2 team did a great job, and man, it's next 2 weeks are going to be a lot of fun, knowing that we don't have to worry too much, and we're going to move out next to the sprint, is it contender round this next?
I'll call it 2 for now, but what does it mean to you to be automatically in already?
It means we're going to drink a lot more beer tonight. We're going to have fun with it. That's what it means, and just really proud to be here, really proud of my team, and see the Chicago crowd when we made the passenger lead all on their feet. That was awesome, Dave, and these fans are great. I want to say thank you to them and Sprint and everyone that makes this series possible. What an awesome day.
Home game for the sponsor. Brad Keselowski makes him proud. He advances to the next round automatically with a win, convincingly, here at Chicagoland.